Okay, in this training video, we're going to go over choosing a niche, which is very, very important for many, many reasons. There are hundreds of niches out there to sell leads to, but you're not going to be good at every niche. The more you know about the niche, usually the more successful you will be. So, you're going to have to start with one niche that you know something about, or you can learn about them, particularly their price per sale is very important. But the other things that you may not have thought of, I've listed here on the right-hand side. And one is speed to market. How difficult is it to contact the owner or the person that makes the decisions? It's not always easy. Sometimes a business may have a call center or dispatch, so their phone number doesn't even go to them, and they don't have a manager, so it's difficult to get a hold of them. And you really don't want to use direct mail to do that. It's time consuming and expensive. And sometimes their emails don't get open, they go into spam, or they're old timers and they never look at their email. So you have to take that in consideration. How fast can you contact the decision maker and talk to them? Because at some point somebody's going to have to talk to them and convince them to use your service. So that's important to think about. And then, of course, what will it cost you to produce a lead for them? And that, in my system, I use more pay-per-click than organic, the cost of a click. And as I mentioned earlier, the cost of a click is determined a lot by competition. So you may pick one niche that everybody is using pay-per-click for, and the cost is always going to be high. Even in smaller cities, it's going to be high. So you might not want to start out with a lawyer or a doctor. You might want to go to an off-the-wall, type niche, like air conditioning and repair instead of heating and air contractors. Air conditioning and repair would be better. It's a smaller niche. You have less competition. The cost for a click will be a lot less, and it's more of an urgent type service. And of course, the competition, you have to type in your niche into Google. You got to see who's doing pay-per-click and who isn't. Because if all three spots are at the top of the page filled with pay-per-click people, and the whole right side all the way down to the bottom is pay-per-click, and the second and third and fourth page, you're going to have a difficult time getting to that top left-hand spot of the page. And you might not want to start there. You might want to start with a less competitive niche where usually the pay-per-click cost is going to be lower, $2 to $5 a click or less. And how much is that particular niche shop? Do people make an emotional decision very fast, or do they think about it and may look at 5 or 6 different websites and call 5 or 6 different businesses in that niche, and they're just kind of price shopping? You want to avoid those niches if you can, because you'll waste a lot of money and you won't get the calls. So, but all this, can be different from one city to another, besides one niche to another. So you have to start someplace, and the most important thing is, can you make the phone ring for your customer? That's if you start with that premise, and then everything else is secondary, you'll be fine. You'll make really good money. And Sometimes in some cities, one niche works better than another. But those are the main factors that I use to pick a niche. And so far, it's worked out. It's worked out great. But you may be a specialist in one of these niches, and you should try that first. If that doesn't work, then try another. Don't waste a lot of time on a niche if you're having trouble selling people. Maybe they just don't need more leads. Find a niche where they want more business, they're hungry for it, and they're willing to pay for it. So that's the factors that I use on picking a niche.